All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dowell. There's Brother Freeman, Slow, and a Ranger. We're just coming back from East Tennessee, where we had a meeting. Well, I spoke at a meeting up there with 7 Trumpets Prepper. Audience, it was okay, kind of attended there a little bit. I hope they actually go out and do we actually taught them. But the nature of this video right here is because I have a question that has come to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and deal with this question. And I'm gonna say what the Apostle Saul or Paul said. I speak to them that know the law. Okay, if a man leaves his wife and children, meaning he abandons them, all right, how can that woman get free a bill of divorce according to Torah? Can she actually lawfully receive a bill of divorce if the husband will not give her one? Well, here we go. Now you understand what I mean when I say I speak to them that know the law. So let me go ahead and answer this, all right? In the law, okay, for those of you who don't know and may not comprehend, but I'm going to try my best to give you some understanding. In the law, there's always a judgment. A judgment in the law works like this. If you ever see something that is considered to be a lesser judgment. Now, I'm trying to speak in ways so that people can comprehend and understand what I'm saying without speaking over your heads. I'll give you an example. If a Hebrew man had a servant, and if he smote his tooth so that it departed from him, it came out of his mouth, do you know, according to the law, that man, the owner of the slave or the servant, he is commanded and demanded by law to let that servant go free because of his tooth? Did you know that? Well, watch this. A wife has a greater status than a servant. Okay, so if the wife is being abused or she has been abandoned, the law has already done spoke by the Lord judgments in other cases. But not only that, watch this. The law says in itself, and I believe it's Shemot 21, that a man, when he has a wife, and especially wife and children, all right, he is supposed to provide food, clothing, and conjugal rights. Did y'all hear what I said? Food, clothing, and conjugal rights. You go over to the Renewed Covenant or the so-called New Testament, it says if a man don't even provide for his own, he's worse than an infidel and one that has denied the faith. I'm sorry to make any sense here. Think about this for a second. If a man is in breach of contract, he doesn't provide any food, clothing, conjugal rights, and he abandons his family, he has already dissolved the marriage. See, what happens is in this wicked country, you get some wicked people, sons of Belial, that know somewhat what the law says, and they try to use that law to bind a woman so that this woman, that's what Yeshua was talking about, all right? These people would turn around and put wives away and then cause her to go out and to commit adultery because they would just put her away without a bill, without a writ, and they dealing with their wife treacherously. Malachi speaks to that. Don't deal with the wife of your youth treacherously. And see, and here's the issue right here. We have a lot of people that fancy themselves to be teachers of the law, but they don't know it. And they end up doing more harm than good when you don't know the law. So, when you have judges in the land, and when you're under the authority of rightful, righteous leadership that know how to adjudicate these matters, it's easy to implement Deuteronomy 24, even though she doesn't have a writ in her hand. You already have a man in transgression over here because he will not lawfully release this woman according to Torah. That's why Yah has men of Yah who know what they're doing. Do y'all understand now? Well, I took my time on that. Hope I gave some type of comprehension and understanding. But you know, it's very difficult for people to understand any aspect of the law whatsoever at all if you don't understand the structure of Hebrew marriage. If you don't understand that structure, you're going to have a struggle trying to understand the law in general. So I speak to them that know the law. Hope I said something to bring some type of edification, exhortation, and comfort.